The Small Business Administrator under President Bush 43, Hector Barreto, is here. I think they're playing with fire, Hector, and I think that it risks, inflaming markets the world over. What do you think?
Well, I don't disagree with you, Neil, but we have a problem, and this problem has existed for a long time. I think I've mentioned to you before, when I was in the administration, we went to China. This is 15 years ago, and we were talking about the same things, the trade imbalance, all of the cyber attacks, the intellectual property thefts, and the fact that it wasn't a level playing field for America's business, especially for small business, and we've just seen those problems exacerbated. Look, China is a long-term player. They think long-term. They already
I know
have
that, but are you for this move to say, China, stop investing in our technology companies? Because they would have to have realized it's one thing to stop goods from getting here, but then to funnel money away from a sector that any country, any individual, anywhere in the world could find appealing. Now, look, I could understand if it's a very sensitive area, but this is technology in the aggregate. They'd have to realize that as the White House that they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Look, our technology industry is critically important, especially when we're talking about artificial intelligence. And one of the concerns that we have is we need to make sure that we're dealing with somebody that respects our intellectual property.
Wait a minute, now we're extending it beyond the Chinese, then, that we don't want people, even the Europeans, to consider investing in our technology. That's like closing off a lot of potential buyers that could prop up this very market the president brags about.
Right. Look, we're still the strongest market in the world. Countries and businesses.
We keep this up, right?
Look, they're going to make decisions based on their self-interest. The United States is still a pretty darn good investment, but we just cannot have the same thing.
You have to be able to invest, Hector.
I totally agree, and we are getting those investments. We don't want those to stop. But at the same time, we need to have fair trade.
It's slowed today, no matter where you are. And
right.
I understand the method to this and the idea to bring China and maybe some of these countries to their knees here. But the fact that the Chinese don't sound like they're biting, and that could change. To your point, they haven't responded tit for tat with exact tariffs, and that's a hopeful development here.
Look,
so
I
they're
see it
talking
as a positive.
about. What do you think happens now?
I see it as a positive sign. I think they're negotiating. The Chinese don't usually go this public. So I think, and you also know this, Neil, they're already having tons of conversations behind the scenes. You saw the announcement on ZTE. That didn't happen in a vacuum. I mean, they've been discussing this. And so I think that we're going to get through this. I don't think that it's in anybody's interest to have a trade war. We're too interdependent now, not just with China, but with the whole world. So I think that those conversations...
You don't think the president is just sort of flying by the seat of his pants? You're giving him credit for a method to this because it looks more like madness to me.
Well, listen, I don't agree with trade wars, and I don't agree with tariffs. But at the same time, what we've been doing for years hasn't been working, and we need a change, especially for small businesses in America.
You don't think it's gone outside the original purview? We've now extended this to those who want to invest in our companies. That hurts us. That hurts our companies. That hurts their workers, right?
Look, we still need investment from around the world, and we're investing around the world, but we just want to make sure that when we do invest and when they invest, it's a mutually beneficial situation, not one side's getting the better deal.
So you think someone is going to blink, and it's going to be, in this case, the Chinese?
Look, I think that we need the Chinese for a lot of things, not only our trade, but what we're trying to do in North Korea. They buy a lot of our bonds. We're going to be interdependent for a long time, and this is a bump in the road. We're going to get through this, and we need to be long-term players too. If they're playing chess, we got to start playing chess.
How do you know we're not just playing checkers?
Well, look. Again, the stakes are too high for each side, and China is not going to let this escalate to a place where they're going to be hurt.
Right.
Look, I live in Southern California, Neil. The Chinese are investing billions of dollars in downtown Los Angeles. I don't think they're going to stop doing that anytime soon.
Well, I don't know about that. Hector Barreto, always good seeing you, my friend. Thank you seriously very, very much.